What's going on, champs and chambettes? It's FireMonkey here, and the MrBeast Extreme Survival Challenge tournament has officially come to an end. So in today's YouTube video, we're going to be talking about everything that went on with it, my personal opinions on it because I competed, of course, and just the whole entire situation overall. But for anyone who was unaware of what happened, basically there was this tournament that went on earlier today. It was in the same time period for literally every single region, and it was one of the first time periods, or I guess, tournaments ever, where all of the prize pool and everything were all combined into one giant listing. So if you were playing on EU or NA West or Oceania, Middle East, anything like that, they were all the same tournament bracket. So if you earned points in one region, technically you earned all those points in every single region in the game. But of course I had participated in it and I ended up getting a pretty decent score. As you can see right here, I ended up with a total score of 97,634, which did qualify me for the actual Beast Umbrella glider, or I guess umbrella, that will be granted to people tomorrow at 5 AM Eastern time. So I did manage to get the umbrella, right? I managed to qualify for it, and it was a fun time. Now, of course, the person who won $1 million is actually a pro player, Gildanos, right here, as you can see, and they ended up getting a total of 142,099 points in their best match, qualifying them for that grand prize. So major congrats to them, but of course, let's go hop in a game and talk about everything I have to say regarding this tournament itself. Now, in terms of the actual way the tournament was handled, right, in terms of the actual custom creative map and everything, I thought it was a really unique system, right? We haven't really seen that many creative tournaments before, and as far as I can recall, maybe we've had like 2 or 3 before. A lot of the creative tournaments I at least remember, leaking or talking about on Twitter in the past have all been ones that were like test events, right? Like I remember there was like a money grab event or something like that. I forget what it was called. It was like a money mini game that was made in creative mode that Epic Games ran an EU only test event on a long time ago. So it is a thing that they've done before, right? They have experienced, these unique systems of doing these little test events time and time again, and it is nice to see them making an actual event related to a creative map and kind of just putting it out there for anyone to enjoy. Now, the whole entire interesting thing about this one is the fact that it had a massive prize pool of $1 million for the #1 person in every single region who actually managed to score the highest points. So only one person in the world was going to be able to run home with that prize, but they actually managed to, get a very decent prize out of this event. And of course, it was probably because, it was a MrBeast event. So it was obviously going to be a super big tournament. There's going to be a lot of hype around it just because MrBeast is the guy that everyone knows because of what they do with their money. With that said, however, I do want to mention that even though it was a unique system, even though we haven't really seen them do creative tournaments that much before, it was still something that I was kind of iffy about. Not because of, it being a bad creative map or anything, because I thought the creative map was actually pretty cool, but instead because there was a lot of bugs with creative mode, right? There's a lot of bugs and glitches that happen from time and time, and it seemed to really hinder the experience for some players. And I wonder how it would have been for people who are playing on something like a Nintendo Switch, where I heard more complaints from, because of the fact that the map was already causing major lag issues, right? In one of the matches I actually played of this event, there was this weird issue where nobody was able to move, right? Everyone just got locked in place, and the actual obstacles and stuff were still running back and forth, still hitting players and dealing damage to those players while they were just stuck there. So they had to just lose like half their health before the server actually kept up and, was like, hey, you're actually supposed to be able to move here, and allowed them to move once again. So there were a lot of these like freezing issues, a lot of weird tech issues that just happen with creative mode in general that were happening in these lobbies that I wish could have been fixed ahead of time, or at least tested more thoroughly before, anything actually released. Because if it was bad on PC, then I assume on other places like consoles and, Nintendo Switch, for example, that it might have been an even harder experience for some players who might have either gotten unlucky and gotten into those more laggier lobbies, or just overall, didn't have that good of an experience because their Switch or their device may not have been the most powerful device out there and may not have been able to keep up with everything that was rapidly changing in that creative map. You also got to keep in mind like the whole entire ping system and everything, because if you have a high ping, then there's going to be things that are a little delayed. Let's say you move to the left or something that might have been a little delayed. The game might have thought you were supposed to take damage when you actually weren't on your screen, and then you took some accidental damage that wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. Just a lot of weird tech things that could have happened that I could see going wrong that it would have been nice to know were less of a concern. But as the tournament has officially come to an end, it definitely seems like these tech issues were a big concern for some people, especially those who might not have been able to have a powerful device or good Wi-Fi in order to participate very smoothly in this actual event. So of course I'm always thinking about, how did this affect the average player who might not have had a super powerful PC, might not have had the best Wi-Fi or whatever, because if there was some of these technical issues that were happening to me, even though I did still qualify, there's a chance that someone might not have been able to qualify just because they've had terrible luck getting into servers, their matches had terrible RNG because the whole entire map was pretty much RNG based, which basically means that every time you played it, all of the obstacles, everything that kind of like spawned in and everything was random, so it was like you could get it one time, you might not get like a super good objective or whatever the next time, and who knows, it was just a lot of RNG mixed with, some technical issues that are happening every so often that really makes it so I could feel why some people might have felt like this was an unfair competitive event. Overall though, it was a creative event, and at the end of the day, I'm just glad that, I managed to obtain that umbrella for myself, because that was what I was really going for, right? I knew I wasn't going to be able to win the $1 million, so I was just fine getting the umbrella, and I managed to get it, so I'm a happy boy, right? But I still think about everyone else out there. I do think that because of the RNG, there were some games that felt way more overwhelming than other games, right? Because you had some situations where there was these damage sequencers, which are basically just, walls that come towards you like you're playing something like Beat Saber, and these sequencers would always be going in one direction, but you would also have them usually get combined with these pinball flippers. Now, the pinball flippers would shoot you up in the air and deal some damage to you. However, where it gets chaotic is the fact that the damage sequencers always come from one way, but the pinball flippers go back and forth. So if you're on like a stage 2 on both of these objectives, then you have these super fast damage sequencers coming at you like super fast, they're super wide and everything. You also have these pinball flippers that are rapidly going back and forth, and you have coins that are spawning on the ground while also trying to ignore whatever objective you're supposed to be avoiding, whether it be a bomb, lightning strikes, or anything like that. And it could really get overwhelming and could really be stressful. It gave me a little bit of a headache, to be honest, where you're sitting here, you're trying to avoid pinball flippers coming from behind you, you're trying to avoid damage sequencers coming from in front of you, but you're also trying to move to the side because the game's going to destroy all those outer hexagons or the inner hexagons, and there was just so much to actually focus on that even though I was able to get into the overtime area multiple times when I tried this actual event and played in it, it definitely was stressful, right? It definitely had a lot going on for it, and it makes sense why, some people might have felt like it was unfair, especially with server lag and stuff, because you just have so much going on non-stop that you're having like anxiety, you're having stress, and you're having technical issues all at the same time, so there was just a lot happening, right? I assume that as time goes on, if Epic Games is another creative event in the future, maybe there'll be some new tinkering systems and stuff in place to make it less laggy, make it a more fun experience, and just more, easy overall for people to compete in. Now, I am happy that, a lot of people that I know managed to actually obtain, all the free rewards, right? They were able to actually obtain that umbrella. They weren't, of course, able to obtain the $1 million because only one person could get that, but, it's nice to see that there was a lot of my friends who even participated and managed to get the rewards as well. But one thing I did see a lot of people complain about is the weird timing, right? Because this was just like a random time during the day, and I had some friends who were like at work during the event, right? I knew some people who couldn't participate in this event just because they were busy with their job or whatever they had going on at the time, and no matter what region you were in, it was the same time zone, right? It was always 12 p.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m. Eastern time, so no matter where you were, you always had to deal with the same time zone no matter what, or I guess, the same period of time to actually participate. And I feel that this event maybe could have participated or had a lot more like better value to it if they allowed more people to have a more wider period of time in order to actually enjoy the event, especially with the technical issues that happened every once in a while during it. With that said, however, my conclusion on the whole entire MrBeast tournament is that, it was a very unique tournament. It's something that we don't see Epic Games doing that often. They have tried it before, but it's something that is just a massive tournament to see, right? We had a creative map that was custom made. It had these custom videos playing and everything of MrBeast describing everything, and even though there were bugs here and there, I do think it was a fun experience, and I was able to have some fun just talking with my friends during it and sharing our strategies or our scores or whatnot. And when people asked me what my strategy was during it, I was just like, I don't know. I just made sure not to die, right? So if you ever need to win in one of these tournaments in the future, assuming Epic Games does another creative tournament like this, my certified strategy that was working for me was just don't die. And I think it was kind of funny because a lot of my friends had actually practiced beforehand. They were nonstop grinding, trying to make sure they had the best experience, got the highest point score possible. And I had played the map once or twice before this, right? I had played it just to get those free loading screen, and I think it was an emoticon as well, or a spray. I played just to get those, and that was all I really did, right? So I didn't really focus on anything too much when it came to this, and I was still able to qualify for the free rewards and everything, so I'm happy that even though I kind of slacked off and didn't grind for the map, I was able to still be prepared. Now, the first few matches, I will admit, I had terrible scores getting like the 60,000s, but I started getting the hang of it the longer it went on and the more I played, to where I was constantly getting at least 90,000 per match I played. But of course, I would love to hear in the comments down below, what did you guys think about the MrBeast tournament? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? I don't know if I already asked that or not, but you know, in case I didn't already ask it, there's me asking once again, and I will see you champs and champettes next time with another YouTube video after we demolish some bots real quickly in some bot lobbies. Now, I know what you might be saying in the comments down below. FireMonkey, you play a lot of bot lobbies. Are you a bot as well? And the answer is yes. I am not real. This is artificial intelligence. You have all been fooled. I'm actually a highly developed robot, and I might be the next Terminator. Who really knows here? I don't know why I just want to throw that in there. You know, I'm in a good mood tonight, or I guess this afternoon, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day as well. So now that we've eliminated some enemies in this bot lobby, I'll see you champs and champettes next time with another video. Peace out.